Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be continuing our lunch series from the Crochet Cafe booklet. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, we are going to be continuing our bento box. This is from our lunch series. We have created the bento box. We've created the little yummy octopus, the octopus hot dog. And today, we're going to be doing the rice ball. We have to have the rice ball. So I am going to be making this as a gift to my goddaughter. I found this book on Amazon. I'm not affiliated with them, but if you would like to end up getting this booklet, I will leave a link in the description box below. This video series is meant to supplement this booklet, so if you'd like to make any of these projects, go ahead and check it out, and maybe you can take this booklet home. So I am going to be showing new stitches at least 3 times step by step, and then going through the instructions. If there's anything that I find difficult, I'm going to walk through it with you guys. If you need to speed up or slow down the video, there's a gear button in the corner. Go click on that button. There's a playback option to go fast or slow. If you don't need to hear me, you can always lower the volume on your device and then click on the CC closed caption button. Alright, so we are going to move our little bento box aside. And I'm going to whip out my white. It's my own white. I don't know actually if I have enough white, but we're going to do this. And if not, I'll try to find white elsewhere. I've got different spools, so hopefully this will last me. I have a feeling that it might not. But anyway, also required is a 3.75 millimeter hook. And I actually do not have a 3.75 millimeter hook. I have a 3.5. So mine will be a little smaller than yours. And then of course my gauge of yarn, I don't know, this is an old yarn, so I don't know what size it is, but it's fairly skinny. Alright, so let's get straight into this. We are going to be doing the rice ball first. It's going to be wrapped with a little bit of nori. So anyone that's had any kind of Asian cuisine that involves nori, it'll usually involve some rice. So we're going to do that kind of a bit. Okay, with the white yarn, let's make a magic ring. Let me show you how to make one. So we're going to take some yarn here, and we're going to wrap this around our finger 3 times with a little bit of overage like this, so that I can take my middle finger and then just clamp this down like that. From here I can straighten out my strands, tighten them up a little bit. I'm going to grab my hook, and I'm going to slip it underneath the 3 strands. We are going to pull this back out, and we're going to slip this strand underneath these 2. So let's do that now. Pull that strand underneath these 2 strands here, and then from here we're going to do a yarn over, and a yarn over basically is putting yarn over the hook. So we're going to yarn over, and then we're going to pull this through the loop like that. So now we can let go of our middle finger, we can slip the loops off our index finger, and then we can continue making our single crochet stitches. So let me show you how to do that. Alright, so to do a single crochet stitch, we're going to stick our hook into these 2 loops. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull up a loop. Now we have 2 loops on our hook. Then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull through those 2 loops. And that's it, a single crochet stitch. We have a braid 4 stitch, there's a left and a right loop. Alright, let's continue. Let's make a single crochet stitch, stick your hook into the loops. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Now you have 2 loops on your hook, we're going to yarn over again, and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. So now we have 2 single crochet stitches. Each stitch looks like a braid. We have a left and right loop here. Let's do one more with you guys. So into the 2 loops, put in your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. Alright, so let's take a closer look at our single crochet stitches. We have 3 of them here, and you can see it's this pretty braid that has a left and right loop. Okay, depending on how you hold it, so I'm saying left and right because I'm holding it vertical. If we hold it flat, like we will be in this video, then these loops become the front and back loops. But we're going to continue doing these single crochet stitches for this round. So let's complete that. And then once we complete all the single crochet stitches, we have to close our magic ring. And what we're going to do is you're going to grab the lower stitches of this ring like that. You want to stabilize this section here. You don't have to grip too tightly, but not too loose either. You can hold this on your middle finger, the feeder yarn, just so that it's back there and out of your way. What we want to do now is pull this excess piece very gently. We're going to see which one of these 2 loops goes in first. So once we pull this and we identify which loop goes in first, you can stop pulling. So I'm going to start pulling now. Alright, I stopped because this one has gone in first. So what we need to do is we're going to pull the lower half of that loop out so that this loop can go in. So pull the lower half out slowly. Make sure that the right loop is going, well, there's only one left, but make sure the other loop is going in to your magic ring. And once it's all disappeared just like that, you might still have a little hole. That's okay. We have to continue this. Pull your excess piece now and get that other loop hidden into the magic ring. So even then you might still have a little hole, but what you can do is just pull the remnants of this magic loop by pulling in the opposite direction and up. So you can feel a little pull to it. It might not be a big one, it might be a little one. You don't need to pull it too tightly or pull it forever, just pull it till you feel like a little tug. And then when you look, your hole should be closed. Alright, so now we can continue with the next steps. Before we move on to round 2, what you want to do is, the booklet tells you to get these markers. I've got a bunch of them. These are all collected from previous kits. If you do not save your markers from any kits that you've gotten before, that's okay. You can go ahead and get yourself a packet of them, and there'll probably be more than this, but they're only a few bucks, and then you can find them at a hobby store or Amazon or a hobby store online. But I highly recommend that you invest in some of these because these are going to be your lifesaver. We're going to stick these little plastic markers or safety pins, if it kind of looks like, just under the stitch. So you want to put it just under the front and back loops here, and you want to make sure that you don't pierce your yarn. You want to make sure that you clear it so that it's easy to remove later. And we're going to close this up. This is going to keep track of your stitch count, because now we know that this is the last stitch, so you should end up in this stitch. If you don't, then you're probably missing something somewhere. Now, not only does it keep track of your stitch count, it also keeps track of how many rows you do, because sometimes in these projects it'll give you the same instructions, it'll give you rows, 4 through 15. And how are you going to keep track of how many times you go around in a circle? Either you're really good and focused, but in real life you always have things to do. answer a phone call, go to the bathroom, I don't know, have a meal, go to work, go to school, and you're gonna come back thinking, how many rounds did I do already? And then you'll have to undo it, which I've done in the past. So now that I have these markers, it's definitely helpful to me. All right. So for the next round, we're going to be alternating single crochet stitches with an increasing stitch. So I'm going to show you how to do a single crochet stitch. But for the first round, it might be a little difficult to find what stitch you're supposed to go into next. So what you're going to do is from the marker, count back the number of stitches that we're required to have for that round. So once we do that, then you can stick your hook into the next stitch, or that number stitch. Okay, so we're going to do our single crochet stitch, which is the yarn over, pull through the loop. We have 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through those 2 loops. And I showed you that because we did kind of do that before, but it was in the 2 loops. This time it's in a stitch. So now let me show you how to do an increasing stitch. You're going to go into the next stitch, and basically all it is doing 2 single crochet stitches in this one stitch. So let me show you. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then you're going to want to go back into that same stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay? Alright, so now we are going to again go back to alternating these stitches. So we'll do our single crochet stitch, and then let me show you how to do an increasing stitch. Stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in here, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, then stick your hook back into that same stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, and then we're going to do this one more time. So into the next and last stitch, let's do 2 single crochet stitches in this stitch here. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, then into the same stitch, put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Alright, so now from this point we can remove this marker, and we're going to move it up under the stitch of the last stitch we made. So under the front and back loops, make sure you clear the yarn and not piercing it. You can close this up. And then we're going to start with the next round. So again, the next round we're doing our single crochet stitches and then an increasing stitch. So since I showed you how to do this 3 times already, I think this will be easier for you to do. If not, you can always go back to the video. But let's get this underway here. And I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but I do have a list of kits that I have to do. I know you guys are waiting for them. I just got that. I just got that new bundle the other day, so I will be getting those down week by week. We've got about like 7 more kits to go. So I am gainfully employed. So thank you for your patience. I am getting them done in request order. So it'll be a minute, but you will get these videos. Okay? All right. Now that we are finished with that row, let's move on to the next. So for round 4, it's the same alternating single crochet stitches with an increasing stitch. So far, so same. It's the same stuff, just variations of. So just gathering up some yarn here. I do that. Yeah. There's no daintiness over here. Okay, so for round 5, again, we're going to alternate single crochet stitches and increasing stitches. I'm curious to see how big this is going to be, because it's already curling in. I don't know if this is going to be the top or the bottom of our little rice ball. Okay, so we finished round 5. We're going to move on to round 6. Let me just put this under the last stitch we made. Now, if you've noticed, our project is curling into itself like this. The problem is this is the wrong side facing out. What we want to do is tuck this inside here, and we're going to invert our little project. So flip it inside out. You're going to see that you have nicer rows facing the outside, and that's exactly what we want to see. We're going to move on to round 6, and round 6 again, alternating single crochet stitches with increasing stitches. So I like things that are fairly easy. Stand corrected, less complicated. Oh man. Let me see. Okay, just lost my count there. Again, these markers, so helpful. So Okay, gonna slip this marker under the last stitch I made, and then we're gonna move on to round 7. And once again, single crochet stitches alternating with increasing stitches. All right. All right, judging by the look of this, it looks like we're doing the top down. All right, we're gonna remove the marker, place it under the last stitch we've made. Okay, then we're gonna do round 8. And again, we have single crochet stitches alternating with increasing stitches. Okay, remove the marker, put it under the last stitch we made. Now for rounds 9 and 10, we're going to do just single crochet stitches, and it's only 2 rows, so I'm not going to use 2 markers because I would like to hope that I'd be able to keep track of at least 2 rounds. I'm not going to lie though, my memory is pretty bad. So all right, so let's do our row 9. remove the marker under the last stitch we made. Now I just got to do one more round of this. Let's see, I hope we're almost done. I don't know about that. I am running out of white. Right, I'm just detangling my white over here. When it gets to the last bits, it's always like not in a perfect ball or spool, so it ends up getting tangled. Comment below, let me know how you're doing. These projects are so cute, I just can't. Okay, before I finish this up, I'm just going to look ahead into the instructions, and it says that we're going to be adding the safety eyes. I'm going to be sewing them on instead because I don't want any choking hazards on this. I will be giving this to my goddaughter. So better safe than sorry. Yeah. Okay, remove the marker. We're going to put this under the last stitch we've made. Now, let's see. I'm going to actually use my black yarn and hope for the best. Alright, be right back. Alright, so I have my black yarn here. This will probably help me make my eyes a lot quicker. So I'm going to get some yarn for this. I have a plastic needle here that I'm going to thread up. I'm going to try using this for the mouth as well. It's a little thicker than I'd like, but you know, you use what you have. So I'm going to pull this hook out, and I'm going to grow this loop very long. And I'm going to do that so that I can remove this hook out of the way. It's not going to be rattling around all over the place while I'm doing this. And then plus it'll keep your stitch from getting lost. So now from here you just need to find a good spot to start your face. So it says between rows 7 and 8 and then 2 stitches apart. So let's count that now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're going to want to pick a side here. See, okay, and I'm gonna go I'm gonna make this the width of 1 stitch. I want to make sure I leave a tail so that I can tie it later, but we are gonna do a number of passes so that we can get up to the roundness of the eye, because 1 pass isn't gonna do it. See, it's too skinny. So just keep doing this till you get the desired effect of an eyeball. Okay. And then once we get to that point, I'm gonna stick this in here. We're going to go 2 stitches apart. So here's 1, here's 2. At least I think that's 2. I might have split. Yeah, I split the want to go back in. Make sure it's 2 stitches apart. I accidentally like split a stitch, so I gotta make sure I do that here as well. I don't know how I did that. Let me see. Whatever. Okay, I think I got in there. And then I'm going to try to make, I always say this, I should have kept count. Try to make the same number of passes so that it ends up being the same size eye. But I'm just going to have to gauge it because I forgot to count. And that is the Dexter dinner alarm. So if you hear faint meows, it's him saying hello. That was my alarm. Feed me dinner. Let's go. What are you doing? Yeah, but I'm just gonna wrap this up first. Let's see if this does it. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Alright, and then from here we're going to do the mouth, and it looks like it's a little V in between. So we're going to go in between the eye here. And then we're going to go back in between the eye, a stitch over. And then we're not going to pull this all the way. We want to have a little loop here. I'm going to try to come up in the middle of this stitch and through this loop. See? And then we're going to go back in the same hole that we came up from. Right? Now we can pull this loop a little bit more because it's too loose, and pull this down so we have our little smiley face. I'm going to invert this. We're going to double knot. You don't have to tie it too tight, just enough to keep it from unraveling. Right? I'm going to cut this off, and we're going to tuck those pieces inside the rice ball, so we'll be all right. But when I come back, because I gotta feed the little monster, we're gonna continue with our project. Slip your hook back into that large loop and then pull the feeder yarn to make that loop small again. Alright, like I said, when we're gonna come back, we're gonna do round 11. Alright. Let's gather up some yarn here, you guys. This is how much I have left. I am really hoping this makes it. I'm on round 11. Hopefully this makes it down to round 14. Whoops. Alright. So, for the next round, we're now going to be decreasing. Oh, it's that stinking invisible decrease stitch. Alright. So, we're going to do our single crochet stitches, and then I'll show you how to do invisible decreasing stitch. Alright, So an invisible decreasing stitch is basically doing using 2 stitches and turning it into 1 stitch. So I told you that these stitches consist of a front and back loop. This is the front loop, this is the back loop. What we're going to do is stick our hook into the front loops only. So into the next stitch, we're going to come up from under and through the front loop only. The back loop is still back there chilling. We're going to then stick our hook into the next front loop. So into the next stitch, come up from under, through the front loop only. So now we have those 2 loops on our hook and this one here, but we're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through just these 2 loops. So 1, 2, we have 2 loops left on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through both loops. So we basically took 2 stitches and turned it into 1. So we just have to alternate this. So I'm going to go back to our single crochet stitches. And I do want to apologize. The last video that I did, we did the invisible decreasing stitches, but I did it differently. Instead of doing the front loops, I did both loops. And it just made my life a little harder. And it probably meant that made your life a little harder when it shouldn't have. So definitely apologize for that. I got lost in the moment there. I should have known. Sometimes when you already know and then you just do things and you forget. I don't know how to explain it, but I totally messed up there. But anyways, I'm going to show you again how to do a front invisible decreasing stitch. So into the next stitch, put in your hook and put in the front loop only, like that. The back loop is just chilling. And then we're going to go directly into the next stitch over, underneath, through the front loop only. So now we have these 2 loops here and this loop here. We're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through just those 2 loops, like that. Okay. So you still have 2 loops left on the hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through both loops. All right. So do your single crochet stitches. I'm going to show you how to do an invisible decreasing stitch one more time. Stick your hook into the next stitch from underneath, through the front loop only, then directly into the next stitch over, from under and through the front loop only. So now we have these 2 loops here and this loop here. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through just these 2 loops. And then we're going to yarn over again and pull through those 2 loops. I want to remove this marker and we are going to slip this under the last stitch we made. And then we're going to move on to round 12. So same thing, we're going to alternate single crochet stitches with an invisible decreasing stitch. So let's do our single crochet stitches. I'm just trying to figure out, I want to make sure that I put this in the right stitch. So I think I put it in this one. Let me double check. How many stitches it's supposed to have? 3, 5, 10. Okay. See, when you do the invisible decreasing stitch, it pulls the 2 stitches together, so it gets confusing sometimes where you put the next stitch. Let me just double check. Okay, yeah, just making sure. Alright, so let's do our single crochet stitches, and then we're going to alternate with our invisible decreasing stitch. Alright. Put your marker under the last stitch we made. So now it's saying that we have to begin adding fiber fill and continue as we close the piece. So you do have to get your own fiber fill. I got a 32-ounce bag from Amazon, so I have an endless amount of fiber fill. Not complaining, because I've done a lot of these, not having the kits due to viewer requests. So it was very handy. And then I had some kits that only give you enough material for 2 characters, and then you have to find material to do the rest. This one gives you no material, but the booklet is just so good and so fun. So I highly recommend to get it. Alright, so I will add some more if need be, but we're going to continue on to round 13. So once again, we are going to be alternating single crochet stitches with our invisible decreasing stitch. So now that we have stuffing in here, try to avoid crocheting into it, because you're going to pull it out of the project and it's going to look messy. So let's continue. Alright, remove the marker, put it under the last stitch we made, and then we're going to do our last round, you guys. I love these tiny projects, they're the best. Okay, so for this last round we are doing all invisible decreasing stitches. I don't think I'm going to be adding any more stuffing because I already added a good amount. Alright, we won't be using this again, but we're going to fasten this off and we're going to leave a tail to close the piece. So I did make it with my white, excited about that. But I am going to cut a little bit here, I don't know, 3 inches. So to fasten off, you're going to take your little piece here that we cut, we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull that through the loop and then all the way out. So you just pull the hook until it comes all the way out. Then we're going to tighten this up by pulling on the end here. That's going to tighten up that loop around it. And then what we're going to do is take our needle. We're going to put this through here. Yikes. Alright, I'm not a sewer, so I struggle all the time. Like, I don't know why I can't thread this, really. This actually isn't my favorite needle. I don't know. I don't know where the other one is. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and out of these stitches to close it. So just weave in and out of your stitches. There should be 6 in here. And then once we get all the way around, we're going to pull it. So just pull. Then I'm going to find a moment in here to make my knot. All right. And then what I'm going to do is stick my needle through a spot here. We're going to come up through the other side. Right, like that. I'm going to tug on this a little bit and push the little rice ball down, and I'm going to cut it flush. When we reshape it, it's already disappeared. It's in the project. And here is our little rice ball. This actually looks like a dumpling to me. But anyway, now we are going to do the nori. So we'll set our little guy aside here. Put away our stuffing. We don't need that anymore. So we're going to take the black yarn and we're going to do the nori. Now what we have to do for this is we got to do a slip knot to cast onto our hook. So you're going to take your ring and pinky and thumb and just grip the end here. Take your index and middle and we're going to hold apart the yarn like this. Then you're going to take your hook and we're going to lie it perpendicular to the yarn here, and then we're going to go down, out, and around to make a loop around this hook. You can slide it up and down. We're going to slide it down towards the thumb. Take our middle finger on this hand and just place it where it crosses. so that we can let go of the left, gather up some feeder yarn. We're going to re-pinch this end here, and we're going to slide the hook back down towards the thumb, and where it crosses we're just going to pinch it so that we can no longer slide our hook up and down. Then we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull this through the loop. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to overhand my hook. I'm going to re-pinch my end piece here. This knot I'm going to push towards my thumb. So just push it down until it can no longer go down. Alright, and once you get to that point, we're just going to take our thumb and middle finger and just pull that excess piece just a tidbit to get that knot nice and snug. So once it's snug, you can grip onto the knot and then slide it up towards your hook, and then we can continue on our merry way. So for this, we're going to chain 3. So the chain is the most basic step in crocheting, and all it is you're going to hold the knot down here just to stabilize your project. Then we're going to yarn over, and then you're going to pull this through the loop, and that's it. That's a chain stitch. You can see your braid. You got the left and right braid here, or left and right loop. You turn it to its side. That little loop in the back here is the bump. Let's show you guys how to do this again. We're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull this through the loop like that. Now we have 2 chains, so it looks like 2 braids. Turn it to the side, and you have a bump here and a bump here. Alright, let's do this one more time with you guys. Yarn over, pull this through the loop, and now you have 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. Turn it on its side. You have 1, 2, 3 bumps. Okay. So now we have to start from the second chain from the hook, and we're going to be doing a single crochet stitch. So let me show you how to do that. Now, I don't know how much of this is going to be exposed, so what I like to do, and what this booklet likes to do as well, is stick the hook into the back humps. 1, 2, 3. You turn it on its front side, you see the braids. So normally you would put these in the braid loops, but because we don't know, or I don't know as of yet, if this is going to be exposed, I'd like to retain this braid as best we can. So we're going to turn this to its side so you can see the humps. We're going to count the second chain from the hook. So here's 1 and here's 2. We're going to put our hook into the second bump. So let's do that now. Alright, like that. And we're going to do our single crochet stitch. So yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So we just have to do this one more time, you guys. We have our single crochet stitch here. Let's do another one. So this one is the first one, and it has a big hump, so there's no mistaking it. Put your hook into that back hump. Alright, we can try to tuck in this end piece, so you can just flatten this down on the hook, and then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through that loop. So you have 2 loops, and then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. So this is a dark yarn, so I hope you can see it. We have our 2 single crochet stitches. Here's one braid, here's the other. Now if you turn this upside down, you have the same 2 braids. here's 1, here's 2. So that's why I put the hook into the back humps, because if we didn't, you wouldn't be seeing a nice braid. Alright, so for the next, holy cannoli, we've got rounds 2 through 13. What we're going to do, we're going to take our marker. I'm going to put this under the last stitch we made here. Okay, under the braid like we did with the other rice, with the rice ball. This is going to count as round 2. Then, like I said, it's good to invest in these guys, because then you'll be able to have all these counters at your use. So we're gonna do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, oops, 13, I got 13. I almost overcounted. These back into my bag. Let's make sure that I do have all the rows here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so now that I have this laid out, I can relax. I can just keep doing the same instruction over and over again. I don't necessarily have to keep count. I just have to make sure that I use all of these markers. So for the next rounds, this is going to be crazy. We're just going to be doing single crochet stitches, chaining 1 and turn. So what we actually have to do that I didn't mention from round 1 is we didn't do our chain 1 yet. So we're going to yarn over and chain 1, and then we're going to turn it. So the yellow marker is on the right, you just have to flip it so the yellow marker is on the left. Alright, so because we put this yellow marker here, we know where to place our first stitch. So put your hook into the next stitch. We're going to do a single crochet stitch. So 1, and then we're going to do another one. Stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So from here we can take another marker and stick it under the last stitch we made to indicate we are doing round 3 now. But first we have to do our chain 1 and turn. Alright, so we're just going to repeat these steps. So let's do our single crochet stitches. We're going to mark our last stitch. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to turn. Okay, one more time with you guys. Let's do our single crochet stitches. We're going to mark our last stitch. We're going to chain 1 and turn. Alright, so I'm going to continue this in silence. right, so now we have to do edging around this, and I'm a little upset that I removed my markers because if you saw the bento box, I left the markers on to help me see where the rows are. I'm hoping that I can just see it visually through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet around the 3 edges, but we have to begin by putting a single crochet stitch into the same space as the last stitch we just used. So stick your hook into the last stitch we just made, that single crochet stitch, and we're going to do another single crochet stitch. Then we're going to work single crochet stitches down the side. We need 11 of them. So just work it out that way. Then it says we're going to be doing an increasing stitch in the corner. Oh, actually, hold on a sec. Oh, okay. That was right. Then it says we have to do an increasing stitch in the next space. Alright, and then we're going to do 11 single crochet stitches into the 4th corner. And then it says to do a single crochet stitch in the fourth corner. All right. So it says that we have to have, let's count the number of stitches that it says we have to have. All right. I actually need to add one more. Maybe I didn't count right. Let me see. Adding one more. Okay. Oh, this was twisted to begin with. All right. Wow, not even a slip knot. All right, so now we're just gonna fasten off and leave a tail for sewing. So I just want to make sure that I have enough to sew around. So we can remove this marker. We're going to fasten off, so yarn over, pull through the loop and all the way out, and pull. Now it says to pin it temporarily and place the nori on the rice ball, and then with the needle we have to sew it. Alright, so something like this. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna use this. I don't have pins, so I'm going to use my marker to hold this down on this side. And then we're going to start sewing. So I need my needle. And when we sew this around, they don't want you to go through over the stitch, they want you to go through it. So I'll explain. We're going to go through it just under the stitch. We're not going to be going over. So stick your hook into this stitch here, and we're going to just sew around a stitch in the rice ball. Okay, and then we're going to come up through this, right under that braid, like that, and then we're going to go back down into the braid, underneath the braid here. So we are kind of hiding our stitches. We don't want to go over it because it's going to look like a stitch. So I'm going to work this all the way around, but I'm going to do this in silence. Again, I'm not a sewer, so if you have your own way of doing something, by all means, go ahead and do it, and then we'll pop back in where I need to pop back in. Alright, so I made myself a loop. I came back around to the other side of the nori, and I'm gonna just slip my needle twice around this loop. Again, I'm not a sewer, so if you have a better way of making knots, comment below. But I have that. Now, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go into this project here. Alright, and then I'm gonna pop out to the other side. Alright, I'm gonna push down on the rice ball a little bit, and we're gonna cut this down flush. When we fix this rice ball, it's gonna get sucked into the project, so it'll disappear. But we are done with our rice ball. All right, let me just tuck this in. Always want to put away your tools so you don't lose them like I did, because I have no idea where this needle went. But here is our nori, you guys. Look how cute. It's a little rice ball. I mean nori with the nori on it. Looks like we're going to be working on edamame next. Can't wait. But here is our little bento box. We now have our octopus. We're gonna slip in our nori. So we are getting there. We've got to do, I think we have left is edamame, tomatoes, and an egg. I don't know in which order. I think that's about it. Let me just double check to see what we have. Okay. Yep. So we have some edamame, tomato, and egg left. I'm really excited about this. Comment below. Tell me what you think. How did you do? This is so stinking cute. Alright, you guys. So again, I do have a list of kits that I have to do. I'm going to post out my meals once a week. So last week was breakfast. This week is lunch. And then we have snack, dinner, and dessert left to go. I am going to throw in a knit kit. So we're going to at least do once a week. I have 7 more knit kits to go. So don't worry if yours is not in there. It should be. If not, let me know, because I love those knit kits. I probably like them more than the crochet kits, to be honest, from the Dollar Tree. At any rate, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.